Yo, what is up guys? Russ here, coming at you with another video, another commentary style video where I'm going to talk about a key that I've done, just a 15 this time, a 2 chest though, and I have done some other keys this week, quite a lot actually, including a few 16s, a 17 so far. I might even do another one tomorrow before the week is over. I have that all recorded, so I'll probably be putting out a few videos this week. 15, 16, 17s and things like that on the various dungeons. I'm trying not to repeat any dungeons, until I've done a full round, one on each of them, above 15 kind of thing. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you want to see that and be notified, etc, etc. But yeah, today is Plaguefall, a 15 that we did just at the end of our night. This was actually the last dungeon I needed for my Keystone Master, so we found one of my friends happened to have a Plaguefall 15 and we hadn't actually played with him before. He's the monk. So yeah, for old time's sake, we just hopped in Discord and we had a good time, and we timed this 15, 2 chests even. So I'll take you through it, what I was thinking at the time, how we did the pulls, kind of talk about the route maybe, talk about, kicks and CCs and things like that, and rogue things, things you can do as a rogue, which makes it a little bit easier for you, defensives and prior damage and things like that, right? So we'll get into the key now, and I'll kind of just talk along as we go. Just a quick reminder while the key is counting down, I guess, I do these push keys on stream sometimes, also sometimes off stream, and just record. But yeah, I am streaming most days of the week along, over on Twitch with my community. I'll put a link down below and on the screen, I guess, really quick before we get into the key. And yeah, I hope to see some of you guys over there, answer questions and things like that. And but mostly we're just hanging out and having a good old time with my community. They're very welcoming and nice people. So if you want to, make some friends and stuff like that, then make sure you head over there. So we're gonna shroud all the way over to the first boss room. Quite a simple shroud. A lot of groups don't do this shroud, but my tank likes to do this, so this is what we do. We're gonna put all the slimes and focus on the inspiring mobs. So inspiring just means that the other mobs around it can't be CC'd or slowed or anything. And as this is necrotic, it's going to build up the stacks really quick. As you can see, he's got 95 stacks. He's obviously popped Incarnation, so he can't take some damage. We focus on the inspiring mobs, and then we finish off the rest of the blobs pretty easy. And then we're going to go back on ourselves to these 3 packs now on our left. And we're going to focus the Fungalmancer because he's inspiring. And we can kick him when we can. So we're not going to be able to kick the Fungal Stormer who's doing the Blade Storm, Fungal Storm thing just yet, until we get this Fungalmancer down. So we're kind of just putting damage into him as we can. And my oh my, it does feel bad as a rogue on these big AoE packs, like like those slimes, right? When you see like your tank hitting 19k, your shaman hitting 23k, and monk and stuff, and then as a rogue you're only hitting like 6-7k. So it feels pretty bad. Sub does a little bit better on mass AoE, but I don't know. I prefer Outlaw overall, I think. I do play both specs, but I prefer Outlaw overall. So I actually do have a sub key recorded, like from last week for Spitefall on Halls of Atonement 15. So I don't know. Comment down below if you'd like me to put a sub video out on the channel. I was thinking of covering both specs anyway, so I have that one recorded. I can do a commentary on that one. The kind of differences that you do with subtlety, I guess, and stuff like that. So anyway, onto this second pack. Same thing. Just there I'm just trying to get kidney shot on the Fungalmancer thing. No, sorry, the Blade Stormer guy. I'm just putting out damage. Pretty simple stuff. Just kick what you can kick, especially the heal. I can't remember which one does the heal. I think it's the I know, we might find out on this pack. But yeah, kick the heal when you can. Kidney shot the Stormer after it starts spinning. I think if you do it while it's channeling, I'm not 100% sure actually. I think if you do it while it's channeling up, doesn't put the ability on cooldown, but if you wait for him to actually start spinning, it'll put his ability on a cooldown, right? So he can't cuss it again. If you gouge him or stun him or something as he's charging up, as soon as he comes out the gouge or stun, I think he will start casting it again. So, and then you won't have your CC ready again, right? So wait for him to start spinning. You'll have to maybe let your group take 1 tick of it or something, and then stun it or gouge it or something. So moving back into the boss room now. These Plague Belchers are pretty simple. What we do is we just focus 1 down at a time. It can get a little bit out of hand, especially on Fortified, if you take both at the same time, because there's loads of blobs. Unless you have like really good slows, and you can just kite these guys around the boss room together, then I guess you can take them together. But even then, they do stop to cast the like slime wave quite often, so it's a bit risky. We just take one at a time, but I think if you're really, really pushing damage, you'd probably take these both at the same time and just try and kite the as much as you can. You can actually kite them like back down the corridor. You know, we've cleared some space in that corridor coming up to the boss room, right? You can actually kite these guys back down that corridor, and then obviously they're away from the slime pools and things. So maybe that's a play. I'm not sure. I've not tried it yet, but who knows? I guess I'll let you guys know if I do try that one. But yeah, here, pretty simple. Just slowing and, you know, stunning, vortexing, whatever we can do to those blobs to keep them away from the big guy. Now we're going to move into the first Pride, and then of course we're going to have Pride and Bloodlust for this boss. This is a tyrannical key. This boss has quite a lot of HP, although he has been nerfed, so that's very, very nice for us. Just make sure you have your CCs going on the boss. You might see me blind. In this group we had pretty good, you know, better CC than we usually have, because I mean our comp is a bit scuffed. We're at 5 melee DPS, you know, if you include the Paladin. But we're running, you know, we got Wind Fury token from our Enhanced Shaman, and then we got the damage buff, you know, the physical damage buff from the Monk and stuff like that. So I guess there is some synergy there. It's probably not like a meta comp, you know, you're probably used to seeing your Hunters, Boomies, Mages, maybe squeak a Rogue in there, maybe a Monk too. But yeah, we're running a non-traditional comp, so it just proves that you can do these kind of level of keys with, you know, playing specs that, you know, your friends play and playing with your friends and blah, blah, blah. So we're going in with big damage on Paul. Not me, big damage, but you know, everyone in general with the Pride and the Bloodlust. You can use your grappling hook to counter the stomp. You can also feint the stomp. It does quite a lot of damage, especially as you go higher and higher on these keys. You see the Monk there putting down the CC onto the big blob. So we're going to put him on the first big blob and re-CCing that one whenever he can, and whenever that CC is running out. You can see it there, the paralysis from the Monk. And my job as the rogue is to blind the second one. And obviously I don't take the first because, you know, blind only lasts 1 minute, and then it has a longer cooldown. I think it's a 2-minute cooldown or something. So you can't re-blind, but you can re-paralysis. So we put any class, same with Hunter with like Ice Trap and things. You'd put the Hunter on the first one because they can recast their CC, and the rogue is kind of like the backup one. It's still a CC, but it only works one time, right? Other than that, you've got like kidneys if you're in dire need and it's coming close to the boss or something. So here you see the Monk's going to re-CC the first blob. I'm getting in position. I can see it's going to spawn on my left. So I'm going to get in position to blind. I'm just going to walk over to it, click my blind. We also had a roots go down there, so that was a good backup, you know. Yeah, and then it gets a bit spicy here with the small as we decided to focus the boss. They're in a vortex right now. And we did make it, but I've had way messier kills than that. And as you can see, Outlaw Rogue not doing too bad. I'm actually going I'll let you know in a second. I think I'm deepest strat. I'll probably put my talents on the screen at the start of the video, so I've probably already shown you my talents. Yeah, I'm going Vigor, actually. Sorry, I'm going Vigor this key. I don't know if I talked about it in my previous video, but I just prefer Vigor. A lot of people have asked me Vigor versus deepest strat versus Mark for Death. And I prefer Vigor just because you kind of drown in energy, and it feels like it smooths out the spec, especially if you have lower levels of haste. Just smooths out the spec a little bit. I don't feel like you lose too much, you know, single target damage wise. It's pretty even. It's pretty close to deeper strat, and I don't know, I just feel like the extra like energy that you have access to could come in useful when you want to fire off a kidney shot or a gouge or something. You know, you're more likely to have energy, and it just feels better for me. You know, there's sims, and then there's like how it feels to you, and if one thing generally feels better and it's not a big loss, I generally play that unless like, you know, I'm hard inting or something. But I don't believe that Vigor is, and a lot of the top rogues are taking Vigor as well. So yeah, here on this trash, pretty simple. Just hit your kicks, especially on the green slimes. You want to be hitting your kicks because they put out a pretty nasty disease which stacks and does tons of damage. We're using these barrels and these plague borers to, you see the big green swirly explosion that they do. That is going to put a dot and a lot of damage onto these things. So we're killing this canister. Then we're going to leave these mobs in the canister if we can, and that'll do a lot of damage to them. It's like, there's literally free damage helping out. It's like having a 6th person in your group for these pulls, you know, if you use them properly. And you'll see that on the gauntlet how we use them on the mini boss as well. So we go back around the other side now. One thing I forgot to mention on the previous boss is that you can also use your Blade Rush, which you should be speccing for keys. You can use that as like a little charge to get back from the Plague Stomp or something. And if you do happen to get caught out in the slime wave, you can Cloak of Shadows to dodge that. You know, the bigger slimes, smashy, smashy, stomp, stomp. The cone, the frontal cone, yeah. All right, so pretty simple stuff on these mobs. I'll fast forward it a little bit till we get to the next pack. So on these slimes, these are the ones I was talking about, the green slimes, these rot marrow slimes. You want to be kicking as many casts as you can. Obviously, you only have one kick, so try and call, you know, with markers who's going to take what kicks. If you can, you can do like pseudo kicks with them. You know, with your gouge, with your kidney shots. You can use that as an interrupt as well. You can even use a blind. And if you feel like you're going to die, you can also cloak the disease off. And I believe you can probably use the Kyrian Vial if you're a Kyrian on your rogue to cleanse off. I think it's a disease, and I believe that the Kyrian Vial does cleanse diseases. So, you know, you got your Crimson Vial for you know, self heals. You got your cloak if you're really gonna die, and you can also hopefully, I think, use your Kyrian one too. But I'd cloaked those ones off, as you can see. I got Pride, and then we're gonna go into, I think, the patrol. No, actually, we're gonna go to the left. I think we're gonna go to the left. Pretty simple pull here. Just make sure that you dodge the frontal cone off these spine breakers and obviously the swirlies on the ground. We're just, I guess, using this Pride, you know, on what we can. Not too many things that we can hit, so we just get this pack down pretty quick. One thing that I can talk about is with our monk, he is actually a Necrolord. So I didn't know this until we did this key, but they can actually use Fleshcraft on the blobs, and it can suck their essence out. I'll put in a little clip at the end, you know, of the suck. we were talking about the big suck at the end, you know, but you can suck the essence out of them, and it gives you a buff to your party, like in an AoE around you, depending on you know, which blobs you suck. So I think the red one is just like 15% haste. I think the green one is just like nature damage, kind of like how instant poison works, and the blue one is damage reduction, 10%, I think. So pretty nice bonus, but honestly, I didn't even know it exists because I don't know. I feel like this is one of the dungeons where having the covenant of that zone doesn't matter as much. So on these tentacles, or the tentacles that we just killed, just make sure that when someone gets gripped in, you can gouge it if it's not you, or even if it's on you, you can kidney shot it. So you can save their life. They'll get ungripped and things, because bad things can happen when they get gripped in as the plague borers are kind of going off and exploding. These last set of plague borers, you want to put it on the mini boss and they'll kill the mini boss for you. And then once he's dead, you can just kind of run away from the next ones, because they will kill themselves eventually. They've got like a bomb timer above their head, so they can you know, you can gouge one, kidney the other, and just let your group to run on to the next pack. Saves a little bit of time, and obviously like every second can count in a Mythic Plus environment. Next pack, just kick stuff. Pretty simple, pretty simple. I'll probably just fast forward this one till we get to the next, and there's something for me to talk about, to be honest. So on this pack, obviously we've got the inspired mob, which generally you tend to focus down, unless, you know, generally you want to focus it down so you can kick everything else. Obviously we can't really focus him down with the congealed slime there, so we're killing the congealed and hopefully getting some kicks on the Plaguebind. I'm not doing a very good job apparently on kicking him. He's just casting the plague bolts and things. You can be stunned and things like that. And yeah, you want to get that congealed down, and then start kicking in or finishing off the Plaguebinder, you know, and then just cleaving it all down. I think our rogue does the suck on this blob again, so that would be cool. Damage buff for us. It's like 15% haste. It's really nice. And then we go next pack into Pride, into boss, pretty much. And I'll talk through kind of like how we use our CCs on the boss, for, you know, just to make it a little bit quicker, because obviously he's going to spawn these congealed slimes, which is going to, you know, it's an extra health pool to kill before you can start damaging the boss again. So if you can organize CCs, if you have good CCs in your group, you can basically you know, lower the DPS requirement on the boss by a few 100k on each slime. So that's really nice. Obviously it requires a little bit of coordination, and that's where my blind is going to come in handy. Make sure that you do run over the slimes that spawn after these big like golem guys die. They spawn 5 slimes on the ground. You want to be running over them. They're going to cast like Metamorphosis and turn into a dangerous mob if you don't. So usually one person just takes each, like, you know, there's 5 people in your party and there's 5 slimes. One person takes each one, and then you're good. But yeah, there, like, everyone was really slow, so I just kind of ran over it. I did pop cloak, but apparently it didn't do anything. Like, my cheat death proc there, as you can see. So boss is going down, or boss is coming in, and we got pride. We're just gonna slap him. He's gonna jump away. Pretty simple boss here, really. There's a couple things to note, I guess, as we do like the phase where nothing's really going on. When he jumps, look at the direction he's facing, and he's always going to shoot the 4 lines out of the front of him, the back of him, and his left and right side. So you can kind of predict. I've seen a lot of people get caught off by the jumps, the 4 lines that he does when he jumps around. Just look where he's facing and stand at like a diagonal to him, right? So you can see there, I ducked into the table. Now you want to be killing this plague bomb. So we got our monk to use paralysis on the congealed slime. And he's just going to sit in that congealed slime. We're going to focus the green bomb. Then we just don't have to kill that slime, you see, and we can just get our DPS back on the boss. Now what's going to happen here is we're going to want the monk's paralysis for the next one too, but he obviously can't paralysis 2 targets at once. So as we leave this platform, I'm going to blind the one that's there, that orange marker that's already in paralysis. Because 1 minute will be enough for us to kill the boss. And then we can use the monk's more reliable CC onto the next mob, right? Because you want him, you can CC it away. So I'm just going to run over to it, blind it, and then I'm going to grappling hook over to the new platform. Then we're going to do the same thing. I believe, if I remember correctly, the CC gets a bit scuffed, but we're generally wanting to do the plague bomb. I think a poison went on it or something onto that congealed. Maybe it was even me. But yeah, it kind of got broken out. I don't have blind ready. Our druid, I think, has roots in like 10 seconds or so. So I think he puts the roots down in a second after we've killed the bomb. I got hit there. That was really, really bad. But yeah, the paralysis got broken, and that also has a cooldown. So we kind of sat there. Luckily, my weapon enchant, which I actually didn't see at the time, went through the congealed, but it didn't quite break the root. So that's really good. And then I ran over to squish the little slime because I didn't see him running over. I think our shaman ran over there too, but me and him kind of had a little race there to do it. But yeah, as you can see, we just CC'd that one in the roots. My previous one is blinded still, but I believe it's going to break probably very, very soon. So if we were any slower on this, we would have to, you know, kill some congealed slimes, I think. But we're just ready. Yeah, the congealed, I can just see it there. It was just coming over. So we killed that like just in the nick of time, really. Otherwise, we would have had to probably what we would have done is adapting on the fly. We'd have probably used the monk paralysis on, you know, my old blinded one, and then mass roots the 2 together, and then we would have killed the boss. So here, pretty simple stuff. Just same old slime tentacle. If you can purge or dispel that blob, it won't drop that green patch on the ground. So yeah, you can see the Hodge going down there from the Paladin to release, I don't even know who went up into it, but it releases the guy from the grip. And then we're going to run over to the middle pack. So run over to the middle pack. Pretty easy pack. This pack looks way scarier than it actually is. You kind of just, I don't know, you just mince it up like a blender, you know? Everything has like 30 or 40% HP. You just want to make sure you're gouging or kidneying on the Defender of Many Eyes, the Shield of Moldraxus thing. Try and kick the big guy, I guess. Kick what you can. Try and focus the sniper guy because he does shoot random people. And yeah, pretty simple pack. And then we're just running over here. Make sure you run to the left of that tentacle. You do not want to pull that tentacle. And then down here, what you can do actually, which we were trying to try, but the druid just kind of ran in. If you can find this ambusher in stealth, you can actually sap it. Or, you know, someone else can bring it out, like a DH can use his spectral sight and then imprison it or something. And that will be really good because that means you can spawn the pride off this one mob just before the boss. So that's what you kind of want to do. But yeah, we kind of forgot to test it out in this key. So it's fine though. If you can, when you spawn these stealthlings, firstly, you can interrupt the cast, but it's just going to keep recasting until it does finally get it off. You can, you know, interrupt it with gouges and kidney at the end of the cast when it does summon the stealthlings. But yeah, on those, you just want to run in, Blade Flurry, Blade Rush if you have it, and maybe if they're going to leap on someone, you want to stop them leaping. So ideally, you want something AoE CC, right? Like a leg sweep or a you know, incapacitating roar or like a intimidating shout, fear, AoE fear or something like that, right? To stop them casting, and then you can just like DPS them down, right? Apparently we didn't have any CC ready to go. So here, yeah, we CC'd this one's kind of hard on inspiring because that sniper, you don't want him. You kind of want to pull away from him so that you can like he's not just shooting at people randomly, right? Because otherwise you won't be able to break the bulwark of many eyes. You know, the bulwark of Maldraxxus thing. So we just kind of CZ him and take him down later. Next pack, pretty simple. Just make sure you're on the defender. I believe when he's stunned, I think he puts the shield up and then the other one casts the root. Oh no, you can actually kick the root, it seems. The ambusher's web like AoE web thingy, even when this guy's on inspiring. That's kind of strange, to be honest. Don't know if that's a bug or not, but I thought it was maybe because like when he's in a kidney, his inspiring aura is not working or something like that. But yeah, pretty easy. As you can see, we're spamming our CC on the stealthlings here. We had like gouge into kidney, into blind, into into leg sweep, into paralysis and stuff like this to try and break it, but it's still got a cast off in the end. But yeah, this one's gonna spawn the what's it called? The pride. Sorry about that. And then we're gonna go into boss. I actually roll a 5 buff here, so I'm calling to run to boss with the pride. Like I think I roll on my next roll. I roll a 5 buff, and I'm just like, yo, 5 buff, go boss. We go boss with pride because like we're all pretty healthy. I was like, just do it. Like, look, 36 seconds, 5 buff, let's go, let's go. And then he was like, okay, we go when it's low, but I wanted him to go when it was like 40%, something like that, so we could just DPS and run, which I think is doable. But yeah, he did chain it in. We got a little bit. We got 20 seconds of 5 buff with like Bloodlust and Pride, so that's not too bad. This boss is pretty simple as a rogue, honestly. You can cloak of, I think it's Cloak of Shadows on the ambush. Usually I just pop both, but I've tried evasioning. I'm not 100% sure. I wish I was, for the purpose of this video. But you can definitely dodge one, with I think it's cloak, but try both, I guess, on a lower key when you're not gonna like die from it or something, or just pop it, for science or something. But you can definitely feint the damage because this hits really hard on Tyrannical. The ambush, this purple circle that you walk out with, you can definitely use feint just before it goes off. And honestly, it will, this thing can hit you for like 90% of your HP. And if you feint, it's like 40 or 50, sorry, like 50 or 60%. So definitely makes a big difference to a healer. And all you can really do when he puts the spider webs on the ground is run over. And if your Blade Flurry is ready, you can run on top of the web and press Blade Flurry, and it will pull them out. If 2 webs spawn close by to each other, you can get maybe 2 spiders out with 1 Blade Flurry. Sometimes you can see them in stealth, and you can like you have to physically mouse click onto them. But I tried tab targeting onto them, and we actually had a deplete on a 17 Plaguefall yesterday. At the time of recording, obviously, you can see that our paladin almost died from the ambusher. But yeah, you can. I have a trinket from Sludge Fist, and I tab targeted onto the tentacle that's at the side of the room. It was like 30 or 40 yards away from me, and I tab targeted onto it. And I didn't even, I was out of range. I couldn't pistol shot. I couldn't between the eyes. I couldn't do anything. Like, I was so far out of range. But my trinket procced on it for 400 damage, and it pulled the tentacle, which pulled the other mob, the shielding guy, the Bulwarker Maldraxxus guy, onto the boss, and we wiped the key, and we ruined the 17. And it was so well. It was like so on time. It was crazy. But yeah, boss went down pretty simple. The only thing you're really gonna have to worry about on these affixes is the necrotic. I think that boss is pretty easy, especially if you've got Bloodlust and Pride on it. It should go pretty quick. Now we're going for blobs, and this is when we wanted the triple suck. This was the big suck. Maybe I'll put the maybe I'll put the voices on low in the background or something while I talk over this one. But we wanted to pull all 3 blobs. We got the congeal down first, but we wanted to stack all 3 corpses on top of each other so he could fleshcraft them all afterwards. So yeah, this is the big suck. And so we pulled all 3 blobs, killed them on top of each other, and yeah, we got 10% damage reduction, and what's it called, the nature damage on hit. This is, I think they last for 2 minutes, and also the 15% haste. So pretty nice, just a little bonus. Usually you don't really have a Necrolord with you, so it's not a big deal, but it was a cool little bonus with the big suck. And then we were all making the innuendos and whatnot, so it's a good fun time. It's a good fun time. It's always a fun time when you get a good suck, right? So yeah, simple trash next, and then we actually use my shroud. We're going to shroud through the right, and there's a little trick here you can do with the shroud. basically, if you shroud past the guy, the caster guy, the big caster guy who teleports around in this room, he won't activate. So you can take care of the back 2 packs in the room first. And then, yeah, it's just a little bit simpler. He won't teleport around casting onto you guys while you're trying to kill all this like slow, annoying trash, right? Which can randomly turn around and melee you. So really, really be ready with your finger on evasion in this trash. Because like if you pull aggro, these guys almost one hit you. It's crazy, especially on fortified. So we shroud past. We're just taking taking care of these really, really, really quick. And then we'll go back to the first pack and start the caster dude. And he's just not going to teleport all around the platform. It's just going to be like a tiny DPS increase, I guess. Some groups just pull all 3, but then they're still spread out anyway. So you can't really like mass AoE them unless you have something like a Boomy or something, you know. So yeah, just try and kick this dude and cleave down the trash. These things will, you see there, like our monk is getting meleeed randomly, which is kind of interesting. And this is going to be our prideful afterwards. You can see the guy's teleporting, but he teleports a little bit, but he doesn't teleport far, right? So he stays like generally within the pack. You can kick him and stuff, and you can just constantly cleave down these devoted mobs, these slow walking ones. It's just a bit of a kite fest. And then I'm gonna get our cheeky little prideful into boss, and we don't have bloodlust ready. So what you would do usually if this were a higher key, we would probably have our bloodlust back by the last phase. Or we would bloodlust, yeah, probably we would have it back from the 3rd boss for last phase on this boss. Or maybe you bloodlust 2nd boss and you'd have it back for probably the last phase. I think last phase is just where it gets hectic. You get the slams going off the whole time. And you also get the devoted as like the last phase on this boss is kind of the enrage. There's only really one other thing to watch out for, and it's the acid rain. That thing just hurts like hell, especially on Tyrannical, obviously. So going into the boss now, not too many roguey things you can do on this boss, to be honest. The only one I can really think of is, I guess, grappling hook away from the tentacles. If I personally wouldn't risk it, you know, trying to like get damage on the devoted ads in the intermission phase and grappling hook. I don't think it's really worth the risk, but definitely something that you could do if you're like a super min max or something. And then this infectious rain, this thing really, really hurts, really, really hurts. So you can actually Cloak of Shadows it. I think you can also Kyrian Vial. I believe it's a disease. So you can Cloak of Shadows. I Cloak of Shadows the first one, and I'll probably have it back up for the last phase, right? So then I can Cloak of Shadows twice and help my healer out that way. Obviously, just always prioritize looking at the tentacles. Your damage on these devoted ads in the intermission really doesn't matter that much, to be honest. Like, hit them if you can, but never die for it, you know? Like, never get meleeed for it, and never you know, stand a tentacle, obviously. So yeah, here kind of just cleave off the boss at all times. Even when she spawns the, you know, the what's it called, malignant spawn, I think. Just cleave off the boss. It's more important, like this thing does nothing, the tank just stands in it, right? Like it doesn't really do much. Always like focus the boss and cleave off the boss, because the quicker you get the boss through these phases, the less infectious range you're going to have on your party. And that means that, you know, it's kind of the soft enrage, because your healer's going to be using his healing cooldowns for all of those. So the more damage you get on the boss, maybe we skip an infectious rain. I think on this second phase, she starts casting, and we just managed to phase her to 33%. Yes, we do. So we only actually got 2 stacks of the dot, as opposed to, I think it's 6. And yeah, you can save the Kyrian Vial for like when it gets really, really dire, maybe in the last phase. So as I said, always dodge your tentacles. If you can hit the devoteds, do so, but make sure that you use your tricks of the trade onto your tank before you do, because if these turn around and slap you in the face, there's a pretty high chance you're gonna die. So it's really, really not worth like trying to do loads of damage to them. It's just like a little bit of a bonus if you can. And one other thing to mention when she comes up, take a step back, especially if you're outlaw, you won't even lose damage, right? Because, you know, you got the increased range and things. But take a step back from, see, I could actually Cloak of Shadow this one, but I think I'm going to Cloak of Shadow the next one. So it's 4 dots that you get max, right? But yeah, take a step back and make sure your tank is taking a step forward, because she can just instantly melee someone as soon as she comes up through the intermission phase. So just make sure you're not the guy getting meleeed. Obviously, it's your tank's job to make sure he's in range. But if he's not, you don't want to be the guy getting meleeed, right? So yeah, this one is just where we would lust usually. And I think yeah, there we go. I Cloak of Shadows the dot, I think. Or maybe it was the previous one. But yeah, it's just like the only roguey things I can think of. And there you go. There's my Keystone Master. Our Paladin actually died at the end there. I think he was like, oh, it's dead, and he stopped healing himself or something. I'm not entirely sure. There you go. I got a nice little upgrade. Haste, versatility, cloak, biz stats, very nice. And yeah, there's my Keystone Master with the 2 chests. So it was a pretty easy key. We had decent damage. I actually topped, which I don't think rogues should be topping many keys, but I'm gonna put that down to the fact that I had a Wind Fury tome, you know. So you know, I will be humble. I'll be humble in myself there. But yeah, I think that was a fun. It was definitely a fun key, and I've been doing, as I said, I did some 16s. I've done like 3 or 4 16s this week. I've done a 17 in time. That'll be a Theatre of Pain, which I did with like a meta comp. I think we ran Rogue, Boomy, Hunter, DPS there with a like DH tank and I think Chamois healer. So that was like the meta comp, and I'll put that one up later on this week, and with the commentary and things like that. Plan is to go through, you know, each key at least one time with these kind of commentaries, especially with the different affixes, different kind of like rogue-like things that you can do. And as I said, if you do want to see a subtlety key, I'll probably put it up anyway, regardless of what you guys say. But, you know, I would like to know if you guys are interested in sub keys and things like that. And also other classes. I do play loads of other classes, but not right now. Like eventually, I'll probably get to a point where I play a bunch of other classes, right? And yeah, as I said, yeah, just, you know, put any questions down below. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you like the video. Really, really, honestly, I've been hearing people say this for years about liking the video. It really, really helps. And I never really bought it, but it genuinely does. I'm like super new to YouTube, but when people like the video and comment and stuff, it like actually makes a massive difference. So I would hugely appreciate that. If you do want to see more stuff, you know, put a comment and like whatever. If you do want to see more stuff, make sure you subscribe, and definitely head over to the Twitch stream. I'll be more than happy to welcome you in. I'll even give you a personalized hug and a little kiss on the forehead. Yeah, we do loads of stuff over there. Got some stuff coming up this weekend, a big long stream, 24+ hours most likely, with cooking. We do cooking streams, we do, you know, everything. I'll just put it on stream, on screen, and link down below. If you wanna come hang out, that would be pretty sick. But yeah, until then, guys, I'm probably going to put out some videos this week, and I know I've been talking for ages, but if you stay till the end, 2, 3, 4 thumbs up to you guys, and yeah, I'll see you hopefully over on stream, and if not, in the next video. Until then, peace.